Good afternoon. Today we will be conducting an interview with Mrs. Solers, who is the principal at Edgewood Elementary School. Ms. Solers, first and foremost, I'd like to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to conduct this interview with me.
You're more than welcome, Mr. Bashir.
Okay. Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. What is your position and how long have you been in your position?
I am the principal of Edgewood Elementary School, number 67, and I have been a principal of Edgewood for 4 years, and I have been an administrator in Baltimore City for 7 or 8 years. 8 years, I think.
Outstanding. In your position, what are your major duties or responsibilities?
Monitoring instruction, providing a safe and supportive educational environment for children, clean, safe, and supportive educational environment for children, mentoring or supporting teachers in their development as professionals, as well as empowering them to make decisions and to make changes and to make sure that our students are progressing academically.
Excellent, excellent. How did you become aware of the Smartboard technology?
Well, I know about Smartboards, but we have Promethean boards.
Promethean boards, I'm sorry.
I became aware of Promethean boards at a training. Not even sure what university or what location we were at. We were doing a training and there were Promethean boards in the room. The instructors somewhat used them, but used them more like a screen rather than for all the bells and whistles that actually go along with it. It intrigued me, did a little research, found out a lot about the boards and a lot about how they could potentially cause our students and teachers to work more effectively and efficiently. So I then got on the hunt for finding out what schools had them, where were they, and looking into them from that standpoint.
Okay. Describe your initial reaction to your introduction to the Smartboard technology.
Curiosity, which always gets me. I'm a gadget person, I'm a gadget junkie, and I like things that make it possible to work harder but smarter. I'm a person who wants to grab the kids' attention but also give them time to truly synthesize and process what's being shared with them and make it useful. And technology does that. Our children, I call them microwave children. Everything must be instant. Everything is instantly in front of them on the internet. All the food is instantly provided to them out of the microwave. So technology allowed those things to happen. So I keep going back to technology to keep them engaged.
Excellent, excellent. Could you describe the decision-making process regarding the acquisition and implementation of the Smartboard technology here at Edgewood?
Well, because we are a system of autonomy, and every school has its own budget and the ability to do whatever it deems necessary with that budget, as long as you stay within that constraint. When I came to Edgewood, I noticed there was not a lot of technology, so that became a priority for me. There were 2 Promethean boards in the building at that time, and the math department, I think, purchased those. So next thing I did was found out what the budget was and began to purchase Promethean boards, work with the vendor to see how can we get the speakers, how can we get them installed, what other infrastructure needed to be considered. I needed to find out from facilities, could the outlets in the room, because it's an older building, actually even handle having the boards plugged into the sockets? Did we have the infrastructure as far as the intranet to be able to support them? Would teachers be able to download things? I had to find out how many teachers had laptops, and if they didn't have laptops, provide laptops and the document camera to go along with it. And then consider the training aspect. How would they be trained? Who would go out for training? Would everyone receive it? Would it trickle down? Those sort of major buckets that went through my mind. And then if I spent the money on this stuff, what am I taking the money away from, and can we function without the other piece?
Okay. Okay. How long has your staff been using the Smartboard technology?
Since I've been here.
Okay. Okay.
It was a non-negotiable. It was something you had to begin to use. So every classroom has them. Every teacher is expected to use them. Unfortunately, just due to turnover, people transfer to other schools, other people come in, new hires. Some people are more familiar with it than others. We have, in addition to the smart boards, we have some We have Active Vote and Active Inspire and Active Slate. Unfortunately, those have not been as well utilized as the Promethean board itself, but it's still a work in progress, and it's one of those things I keep pushing. We have a few hot pockets that latch on and others kind of shy away from it, but we're working on it.
Excellent, excellent. Has the technology produced the effect that you desired on instruction and achievement?
Absolutely. Students are far more engaged in the classroom when the board is on, when they get an opportunity to manipulate things. You know, it's one thing to edit a paragraph that you copy on a piece of paper, or edit a paragraph with symbols, or the teacher rewriting something that was typed or whatever, making corrections. But it's something totally different when you, as a child, you can get up, you walk up to the board, and you can move that sentence from the top of the paragraph to the bottom, or change words, or change the colors and highlight and do things along those lines, because they actually, it comes to life for them. It's something very different to hear the teacher read you a story from a book versus her putting the book under the document camera. You can see the words as she's reading them without having to have a book in your hand and things like that.
Outstanding, outstanding. Okay, what measures have you used to evaluate the effectiveness of the Smartboard technology?
We've done a lot of informal data analysis on it. We've looked at classes where it's used consistently, it's used to its fullest extent, and we compared those same classes with classes that did not. We looked at the trend data as those children matriculate from a classroom where it's not used to one where it is used to another classroom where it's not used as heavily, and you definitely see the spikes and the valleys based off of the use of it. You definitely, we've looked at the discipline. How many office referrals are we receiving from the children in the classes where it's used consistently versus inconsistently? If you're not engaging the children, if they're not into the lesson, they find something else to do, and it's usually mischief. So having that piece there definitely helps them, and it also enlightens them and makes them more aware of what things are out there and to use technology themselves.
Excellent, excellent. Could you describe the attitudes and the feedback that you have observed and received from the staff and students who have used the technology?
Of course, staff initially was hesitant and concerned, and there's still some older staff members who are still hesitant and concerned, but it's a slow progress, slow and steady wins the race. You have others who, as soon as they saw the opportunity, they seized it, they loved it, and they took the lead and they've taken off running. We've had our sprinters and we have our distance runners in the building. Students, I have not had a student who had a negative feedback ever at all. Sometimes teachers get a little frustrated if it won't calibrate when they need it to, or they have this great lesson plan, but they didn't download the flip chart from it. They just thought they were going to go to the internet and pull it right then and do it, and they didn't prepare for that lag. So that has been some of the feedback, and it's just about problem solving and helping them remove their own barriers that they've created. You create a barrier if you don't plan ahead, if you don't plan for the barrier to be there or plan an alternative route. So we've worked with them on thinking about things like that. We've paired teachers up. We have them do inter-classroom visitations. We have them do inter-visitations with other schools. We make sure that things are accessible to them. We encourage them. We ask. We highlight it whenever we have staff meetings. Oh, so-and-so did X, Y, and Z. This person did a really good job. See this person for this. And we put them in charge of their learning. I don't do the PD or professional development sessions around it. I have a teacher do it. So you're getting it from your peer. So when you have a question, you go to your peer. And it's a lot more comfortable. And they seem to like it. And teachers even gave up, at least the first year, time after school, their personal time, to receive training from each other or to have each other come in and set up. And they still are doing it because someone was doing it yesterday, actually.
Excellent, excellent. Final question, and then I'll let you summarize if you would like. Do you have any regrets for deciding to implement the Smartboard technology? And would you recommend this technology to other principals who are interested in upgrading their instruction by way of technology?
I would absolutely encourage other principals to implement technology, implement things, high interest things, such as Promethean boards, flip cameras, things of that nature, because it gets the teachers hyped as well as the kids. As far as regrets, I regret not having the funding to do the professional development in a different way. I would like to be able to send people back to the company to really learn all of the bells and whistles and nuances of it, versus one or two people learning and disseminating the information, or people learning on their own and just contacting the 1-800 number and following manuals. I regret not being able to continuously upgrade every 2 years like I would like to. Those are probably the biggest regrets.
Excellent, excellent. I have no further questions for you. If you would like to summarize or just give your thumbs up, thumbs down to the technology and the use thereof, or in summary, then by all means, go right ahead.
In summary, it's an expense that you need to make up front, but it's definitely a well-spent chunk of money. And just having the infrastructure. Infrastructure is probably more important than buying the product. Because if you don't have the infrastructure for it, your outlets won't support it. You don't have wireless and things of that nature. That's one of the things we're having issues with, because we're not a wireless building. Sometimes that can hold you back, but find a way around it. Just work through it, problem solve. If it means putting it in 2 classrooms a year, or 1 classroom a year, and have it almost infect the rest of the building, it's definitely worth it. And the kids appreciate it.
Excellent. Well, Mrs. Salas, I want to thank you once again for taking the time out of your busy day to help me with this class project. And if there's any other way that I can reciprocate the favor, don't hesitate to ask.
You're welcome.
Thank you.